Hi everybody, welcome to our Toronto branch of the 100,000 Poets for Change. And you know, change is an interesting concept. Change through poetry is a powerful concept. And change, I believe, starts with oneself and then it opens. So having said that, I would like to acknowledge that Toronto, Ontario is on the ancestral, traditional, and unceded Indigenous territories of the Anishinaabe Nation, and in particular the Mississauga of the New Credit First Nation, on whose territory we work, live, and play, and on whose territory we stand. Lands where our Métis ancestors also settled. And for those of you who are not in Canada, I want you to know that September 30th, this year is going to be the first, will be the very first time that Canada will acknowledge truth and reconciliation to our First Nations all across the country. And how that's celebrated is various by nation, by territory, by land, by custom, and by the people. So for me, I intend to really pay homage as an ally to my neighbors and to my friends who are acknowledging really the tragedy that has befallen the ancestors on whose land we now live, work, and stand. I'm just going to take a minute because I feel that there are people who may be coming through the door. I don't know. Maybe not. But I hear footsteps. Somebody else. Oh, it's the wonderful Joan Sutcliffe. Yay, Joan! I just finished the land acknowledgement. Yes, please hang up your coat. I'm not going to rush and hug you because I am on camera.
Oh yeah, can I take my mask off? Oh right, okay, thanks.
Your choice. So having said that, I want to acknowledge that I have a new book coming. And my new book is called Bob Dylan, My Rabbi, How Does It Feel? And it's going to be a Secret Handshake publication. The Secret Handshake is a gallery in Toronto, and it has many programs. I do voice yoga for the gallery, at least I did before lockdown. And there were art shows which are happening once a month on a Saturday. And now a lot of energy and effort is being put into the literary part of the Secret Handshake. So I'm going to read to you just the foreword. So I say, "Dear reader, thank you for finding my book. I hope you'll read it. If you are looking for insights or opinions into Bob Dylan or his writing, it won't be found here. I've entitled the book, Bob Dylan, My Rabbi, How Does It Feel?, as a gesture of profound appreciation for Bob and his influence on me, my singing, my attitude in performing, and finally, my writing, my ability to express how I feel. In 2017, I had the opportunity to sing at Toronto's Reference Library in tribute to Leonard Cohen with Canada's former parliamentary poet George Eliot Clarke. The library requested I have piano accompaniment. I lucked into meeting the exquisite pianist Neil Gardner. Thank you, Roz and Andy Heintzman, for that. Once upon a time, Neil and I had a conversation about Cohen and Dylan when Neil asked, "Is Bob your man?" For some reason, that question jarred me, and I left the rehearsal in deep contemplation. I've never thought of Bob in the familiar. Leonard, yes. Bob, no. I went back in time in my memory to the first time I ever heard Bob. I was 16 or 17 years old. I don't know where it was, but I remember a big place with lots of people and loud sound. Piped through the overhead speakers came this voice imploring, "How does it feel?" In all my 16 years, no one ever asked me. I was gobsmacked. All my life, I was told what to feel, how to feel, what to expect, etc. When I thought, felt, and acted differently, I was admonished, scolded for being rebellious. Bob wouldn't leave it alone. He went on to say, "How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone?" And I was gone, engaged, committed to explore all the implications of that question. As a teenager, I paid so much attention to Bob that I could argue using only Bob lines like, "You got a lot of nerve to say you are my friend," or "There's no success like failure, and failure's no success at all," or "When you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose," or "No, no, no, it ain't me, babe," or even "We never did too much talking anyway, so don't think twice, it's all right," or "I want to be your lover, baby, I don't want to be your boss," or "She aches like a woman, but she breaks like a little girl," or "God said to Abraham, 'Kill me a son,' or "Everybody must get stoned," as well as this whole important verse. Come, mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changin'. While contemplating Neil's powerful prose and having the good fortune to be there's a mistake. While contemplating Neil's powerful poser and having the good fortune to be well versed in Cohen poetry, and now comparing one to the other, if possible, I had the realization that Dylan was like a rabbi to me, not just a mentor or influence, but an actual spiritual guide. The great Leo Rostin, in his book, The Joys of Yiddish, says, quote, "From Hebrew, rabbi means my teacher," unquote. A rabbi is not an intermediary between God and people, not even or always a spiritual teacher. A rabbi is a rabbi. His position traditionally gives him no power, no hierarchical status. The authority of the rabbi rests on his learning, his character, his personal qualities. Rabbis were enjoined to spread instruction and enlightenment, to uplift the morale. The rabbi is not imposed upon the congregation by an ecclesiastical hierarchy, but is freely engaged and disengaged by members of the community, end of quote. With these thoughts in mind and remembrances of my life's journey, I wanted to create a poetry book of my thoughts and writing that gives homage to Bob. This is for you, Bob Dylan, my rabbi. How does it feel? While Neil and I were working on the Cohen tribute, I found much comfort in Bob's song, "Lay Down Your Weary Tune," and got both Neil and George to sing it with me. When I feel overwhelmed or anxious, I always sing Bob's words. They are hopeful and courageously strong. Dylan's words show me insight into a moment. His words look at the moment and then offer hope. At the after party for Leonard's tribute, George and I sang a duet of Bob's Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues. Some time ago, I was a member of the YMCA. Reuben Hurricane Carter was being honored by the Y as a peace ambassador. Because of Bob's song, Hurricane, I felt drawn to apply to write the keynote and perform for Reuben at the ceremony. It is not included in this book. I won that opportunity. Reuben encouraged me to support the Innocence Project. I did and still do. The Innocence Project exonerates the wrongfully convicted through DNA testing and reforms the criminal justice system to prevent future injustices. Words are like seeds. Once planted, then nurtured, they grow and give beauty. It is significant to remember, never underestimate the power of a planted seed. My background is traditionally Jewish. Listening to Bob and Leonard reference Old Testament stories in their work gave me cachet to defend listening to them to my mother. The fact that both were Jewish was the deciding factor. When I showed my mother the photo of Leonard's first album cover, it was a done deal. That Panem, that face. Ultimately, when one gets in touch with their inner being, hears a unique voice and wants to share it or just to express one's feelings, that, to me, is the definition of a successful human being. In thinking of my man and all the men and women who were there for me, thank you. I ponder what the possessive, my man, and all of them means. Neil and I actually honored Sophie Tucker and her song, My Man, a whole other narrative. I wanted to take this opportunity to venerate Bob and many others through these poems as I search for phrases to sing your praises and share these words with you. It was such a pleasure working on this project from inception with Neil to fully realized with the great Bill Bissett. That took years and brought me to places I wanted to forget. Sometimes I remembered things I never should have forgotten. This project, as Bob's words did many years ago, changed me for the better. So essentially, that is the opening to that. And yesterday, I took one of Bill Bissett's t-shirts that says breath on it, and I wrote this little sound piece. You say breath, I say breathe. No matter which you say, you gotta breathe in order to have breath. Inhale, exhale, in and out. Fill those lungs, relax your tongues, and breathe with your breath. You say breath, I say breathe. No matter which way you say breath or breathe, you gotta inhale and exhale. In, out. Fill those lungs with your thoughts. Relax your tongues. In, out. Breath, breathe. Breath, breathe. Breath, breathe. Breathe. Breath, breathe. Breath, breathe, breath, breathe, breath, breathe, breath, breathe. Breath, breathe, breath, breathe, breath, breathe, breath, breathe. You say breath, I say breathe. Anyway, humbling, thank you, because I just wrote it in the car yesterday. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, this is one of the most wonderful projects I've ever done. It's called I'm Mad. I matter, making a difference. And what it is the history of Mad People's Theatre in the city of Toronto from the voice of two dogs. And it starts this way. And I should tell you that the founder of this magnificent theater, the Friendly Spike Theater, is none other than the wonderful Ruth Stackhouse. And so if you like, you can join me on this, and I would love it if you do. Your part would go like this. Chorus. When I say chorus, get ready. Performers and audience. Hey, little doggy, do you hear it listening? We're howling back to all the Allen Ginsbergs of the world. I stamp my feet, this is your part, wiggle my tail. Howl, back because we are 1, 2, 3, 4, howling forward towards a new creative vocalization of yips. This is all yours. Yips, barks, growls, sniffs, slobbers, nips, pulls, digs, licks, bites, snuggles, cuddles. Perfect. You got it? It's going to come to you in a minute. Okay, so this is how this wonderful little book starts. Oh, howling back for the Friendly Spike Theater Band, where every dog has his and or her day. In his epic poem, Howl, written in 1956, Allen Ginsberg wrote, quote, I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, end of quote. 33 years later, in 1989, the Friendly Spike Theater Band, a company named after two dogs, Friendly and Spike, began shaping a new understanding of madness based on their own lived experiences. They did this through play creation. My name is Honey Novick. This is my own epic song poem, a stream of consciousness about this extraordinary endeavor and my involvement with it, a relationship going into 2 decades. With the help of founder-director Ruth Stackhouse, I am detailing the history of this company, although not comprehensive and with poetic license, by howling back at tragic madness and creating something beautiful. Please howl when I give you the cue. Well, Bard Ginsberg, your generation ain't the only frickin' one, and so we howl at the dogma, the dog girl, and the doggedy daughters, because I have seen the greatest minds of my generation excel because of madness. We're mad and we're proud. Keep it up, hey, little doggy. Listen, we're howling back to all the Allen Ginsbergs of the world. I stamp my feet, wiggle my tail. Howl, because we are howling for 1, 2, 3, 4, forward to a new creative vocalization of yips, barks, growls, snips, slobbers, nips, pulls, digs, licks, bites, snuggles, cuddles. No, I am resilient, not destroyed. I am emerging. I am mad. I matter, making a difference, singing this song. This is an urge. The urge is an urgency. The urgency is an emergency. Emerge and see. Oh, dear Bard Ginsberg, your time and my time are different. You live during the beat generation. I live in a time when I can move to my own beat, when I can write beat poetry for Bill Bissett. In a complacent world, let sleeping dogs lie. They are content, and if not content, they become distracted. You know, sex, drugs, bugs, pugs, hugs, rock and roll, until one curious awakened bitch starts to stir, stirring like a tenacious terrier. She asks questions, she steals stories, she knows she can make a difference, doggone it. And so with her cohorts, cuddly smiles and barking sundog, they made theater. And I'm just going to leave it there because, you know, promotion is promotion, this wonderful book with artists. Sarah has her drawings in here somewhere. And so do others in this room.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to end my piece. I think I'll end it with a song. And my song is just a kind of recognition of this moment in time. Do you know that the future lies in the present moment? So what we do at each moment, it's crucial. Do you know that the future lies in the present moment? So what we do at each moment, it's vital. It's crucial, it's vital. Our lives are dependent on now. This moment decides the future. This moment is the future. This moment is the time. This is it. Now! Do you know that the future lies in the present moment? So what we do at each moment, it's crucial. Do you know that the future lies in the present moment? So what we do at each moment, it's vital. It's crucial, it's vital. Our lives are dependent on now. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you. Ruth is the founder and director of the Friendly Spike Theatre Band, a collective of performers, writers, musicians, etc., of varying abilities. Ruth, in my humble opinion, is a bright light. So here's your stool.
Thank you. I'm wondering if I could get an assistant to help me up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's such an honor to be here. Now, as a founder and a director of the Friendly Spike Theatre Band, a mad disability people's theatre in Toronto, I've had the privilege of working with many poets throughout the years to enrich and enliven our various plays and presentations, most of which are based on historical events, all of which strive toward social justice and cultural inclusion. For example, this first poem, written by none other than Honey Novick with our collective, was published in Not the Same Old Story, Alter Narratives of the Friendly Spike Theatre Band. This is my story. It is a fact. I am real and I can act. All of us together are the Friendly Spike Theatre Band. Pay attention, listen. We hope you understand. Singer-songwriter Catherine O'Donnell wrote a poem about a man who lived at the Toronto Hospital for the Insane, 999 Queen Street West. And his name was Winston O. And we featured Winston O in our play, Angels of 999. And Catherine's poem was put to a song, which was sung within the play. The wheels I carve go round this place. I know everyone by name and face. I whittle wood by the light of day. It seems to take my cares away. Sitting in an alcove in the dark, I play guitar made from a box. People seem to like it when I play. I'm glad to help in my own way. Like my old friend Joseph, that soul, he's gone, lost in the real world, like an orphan fawn, tossed alone wandering, no rules of the game, and no one knew his name. The world outside is bounding fast. Fancy changes, will they last? I took a trip to the CNE. Mighty big plans in this new century. When I was young, I built canals. Might have even had me a gal. That was long ago, and now my home is here, inside these walls. Like my old friend Joseph, that soul, he's gone. Lost in the real world, like an orphan fawn. Tossed alone wandering, no rules of the game, and no one knew his name. Our play, Marked Living with a Stigma, written by Ken Innes, features a song called The Pill Song, which takes a hard-line approach to Big Pharma. Dirty little dealers sitting in the boardroom, dishing out the filth to the pharmaceutical healers, healers, healers. I know a man, his name is Lily, Eli Lilly is his name. Hangs around the schoolyard pushing little pillies, might as well be crack cocaine. A pill, a pill, a pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. A pill, a pill, a pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. Siva is a man pushing Ritalin to kiddies, Ritalin is sure to dull the brain. Million little zombies sitting in the classroom, hooked on Ritalin, feeling no pain. a pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. A pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. Hoffman LaRoche, you stunned a nation, handing out the Valium, just like a pervert does with candy. Fucked our minds with Librium. A pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. A pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. Smith, Klein, and French are three tough hombres. Chemical lobotomy is their fame. Pistol packing Thorazine to unsuspecting people. Couldn't give a damn about where they aim. A pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. A pill for every ill. Every pill you take will take away your will. Now, this next poem, written by Dawn White's, an absolutely amazing social justice activist and actor who passed away recently, although his soul will live on forever, like Joe Hill. He will never die. And Dawn wrote a poem that was published in one of our theater programs about Edmund Hugh. Now, you may remember Edmund Hugh was a former medical student and a homeless psychiatric survivor who was shot and killed on the Spadina bus by Toronto police. And Dawn wrote, "My name is Edmund Wei Kong Yu. I tried and died fighting racist cops, fascist shrinks, classist landlords. I am your brother. I am your comrade. I am your spirit. So don't forget me." We won't forget you. We can't forget you. Now, Dawn's friend, the late, great Mel Starkman, wrote this next poem, which was a through line for our production, The Walls Are Alive with the Sounds of Mad People, which is a lively tour around the patient-built wall at Queen and Shaw. Historical plaques surround the wall, telling the story of the patients who built it. And this is on the present grounds of CAMH, which used to be the Toronto Hospital for the Insane. And Mel's song, which I will recite as a poem now, went like this. "We are survivors departed, denizens of old 999. Off to work they had us carted, on starch food we dined. Of our own arduous making, from fields, barns, and stable, we gathered orders not forsaking, to the degree we were able. Men and women, we labored. As slaves for pay, there was none. Well, the government used us and savored, saving by the sweat of our brow. Moral therapy was in the air, as justification for being in prison. Never seemed quite fair. To this day, many of us can envision. The walls will not fall. A vestige still stands for all to see. These plaques to us recall the dignity of you and me. The walls are alive with the sounds of the mad, whose incarceration makes them sad. We do honor them as family. Each rose, Isabella and Willie." Our play, The Girls of Grandview, includes a poem called Femicide. The Grandview Training School for Girls is a concentrated pool of poor, damaged, used, undervalued girls sucked into a whirlpool. Not part of the worldview, stinking dreadful cesspool. Blood blue, black blue, breathless blue. You took my hope, you took my faith, you took my love, you took my trust, and you thrust. But not like Jesus on a cross. You wrote me off at cost. Femicide? Slow death ride. Cruel, cruel, cruel. Femicide, slow death ride. 40 years and on the rise. I've been dead more than alive. Now I'm going to close this presentation by quoting from two of our wonderful poets. The first, our dear friend Mel Starkman, and he wrote a poem about his experience with the Friendly Spike Theater Band. And one of the verses goes like this. The example of others as siblings has given me back my wings to sail again the sea and nurture this talent, so we. For I'm not too proud, you see, to own up to just a little pea. And finally, a beautiful man by the name of Robert Norman shared his story with us for our play Mark, Living with a Stigma. And that story inspired Robert's song, which includes these important words. When you form a circle, no one is first, and no one is last. The good things that we do will make up for the hurts of the past.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Well, I'd like to introduce someone who I feel is just an inspiration to me. I call her master, which she hates, but it's the truth. She is a master and an enlightened being and a great poet. So please, everybody, welcome and meet the remarkable Joan Sutcliffe. Wonderful to see you. Thank you. Since when?
Oh, well, after the two with Honey and Ruth, I feel really quite humble. In spite of what Honey says, my poetry is not. And I haven't done a lot this last year, to be honest with you. Because of the COVID and because I started to write a novel. When you're doing prose, you get away from poetry. Anyway, I've dished up a couple. This first one's one actually I wrote quite a while ago. It was when I was interested in Buddhism. Well, I still am actually, but they have that idea of who are you? You're not who you think you are. And that's sort of the point. Who are you? Who are you? Who really are you? Deep down inside. Not the pubescent boy with flamboyant shoulders. Not the purple-hatted grandmother with tigress eyes. Not even the master of philosophical finesse who sits in the cemetery of departed successes. But who are you? In the core of your iridescence, behind the mirror of transformations that shoots its image from reflecting glass to reflecting glass. To pose in the multi-layered jacket that wraps itself tight against winds of ever-changing whims, to assert in borrowed confidence, I am I. But who are you, that eternal presence, which has no name, beyond the knower of concept and thought, beyond the sting of memories, drawing together the highlighting moments into a single breath of illusion that says, I am I. Who is the real you, the ultimate awareness aware within, the wearer of the dragon mask in the grotesque dance of imagination that creates its world of erudition to become just a play in someone else's dream? Who is the you that is the watcher, silent, equanimous, unmoved by pain, unmoved by passion or pleasure? Perhaps, just perhaps, the you are looking for is that which is doing the looking. I'm sorry, I'm going to need my glasses. I haven't read these for a long time and I'm a bit rusty. This next one's a rhyming poem, which I did write quite recently. I called it The Good Old Boy. The terrain was rugged, wild and tough. Bruised and aching, my body felt rough. A hollowed rock served to rest my feet, and a stranger came to share the seat. Conversation flowed like river to canal, sometimes stimulating, sometimes banal. His face was neither remarkable nor bad. He spoke with a lilt, a cadence when sad. I saw him often over the years and got to know his strengths and fears. We took many a long and challenging walk. At times he was moody and didn't talk. We met with a hug and left with a kiss. A kindly disposition was his. Quick to help and slow to anger, free from scorn and free from rancor. One day he left and went on his way. I've no idea where he is today. Someone told me his name was Roy, but I only knew him as a good old boy. This other one actually is taken from a memory, which I didn't appreciate at the time when I was young. It's something I've sort of regretted, actually. I called it We Didn't Ask Why. Do I really believe in the innocence of those long ago days, when increasing light stole into evening dusk and early snowdrops peered the hard earth? Those were the times when we were fired up by John Osborne's Look Back in Anger and James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause, a world simmering on the brink. One of us was retreating, deeper, ever deeper, into the darkness of despair. We were too full of Roy Orbison, Moon River and Joan Baez, political rallies and moods of change, street marches to ban the bomb. He was the lonely, only the lonely, slipping away quietly into the forgotten, until one morning he didn't wake up, and none of us ever asked why. This next one is called The Blues. It's about a saxophone player I used to see on the street. Brilliant yellow light wraps itself jealously around the writhing body of the lean and sinewy young man, twisting with the subtlety of a serpent to the seductive, somber tones of his saxophone. Sonorous, deep, melancholy, like the plaintive cooing of a mourning dove, the alluring melody plays in subtle chase of itself through soul-rending loops of intoxication. He is beautiful, in peacock blue tights and with gold lame vest, dark-eyed and svelte, an outcast escaped from the ghettos, progeny of a long-ago slave trade, or perhaps not so long ago. Now a street artist, the midday sun fondly caresses glistening olive skin of a lovely face, doomed to grow old before its time. A musical progeny with talent to grace the finest of concert halls, but only a perceptive passerby will stop long enough to bestow a patronizing bravo and casually drop a coin at his feet. just read one last one. This is one I wrote a while ago as well. It was at the time when there was a lot of oil spills, and everybody, you know, we were up in arms, animals were getting hurt, and, you know, and anyway, I think though, because of what we're doing to the earth right now, I think it's still fitting actually with the times. It's called Ecological Pain, and it's written from the perspective of a bird, actually. Have you inkling of my loneliness? My cry has crossed oceans, circled a cresting wave and dipped the trough to throw its echo into passing time. There is none left to answer me now. I am last at my line and solitary as sunset. My species have all died in torpid waters, oil blackened and thick, wings heavy caked, unable to lift, dragged down to sink in the sludge. The spreading scourge of poisoned air has captured colony after colony, breath torn from lungs bursting to exhaustion. Oozing grease has tainted the coast till shorebirds lost instinct to wade, and landlocked perished in starving deprivation. O tragic world, unknown now in your pristine beauty, no black-browed albatross will again stretch dark wings over gleaming seas. No silver heron carve its jagged flight through expansive blue of an unblemished sky. No long-necked curlew scents its pathway to enter the shallows of throbbing tides. To save you, I'd have flown the earth, seeking the last drop of water, still pure enough to give life. So thank you very much.
Thank you always, Joan. And if I had one wish, it would be that everybody has a friend like Joan. While I'm expressing my profound appreciation to you, I wanted to say I couldn't have done this without Martin Smith, Marty, so thank you. I also wanted to say that in addition to Marty, this wouldn't have happened without Louise Bak, so thank you, Louise. So is that enough lead-in time to present our very first male voice of the evening, Daniel F. Bradley, who I know from the Secret Handshake Gallery in Kensington Market, and all I can tell you is that Daniel's poetry touched me, and I really hope that you feel the same way. I can't see how you wouldn't. Anyway, Daniel, the X is yours.
At some point, everyone became very violent. Roger Corman understood the horror of the wasp woman, because elves seem to be open to anal, brings out all the feels. These words matter when you've been hurt. My sister threw out her live-in boyfriend on Christmas Day. That's the kind we are. The pleasure to pursue pleasure, and the incredible Sir Pool King. A shining star for the briefcase crew. There was just so much rain, a reign of Disney Wish, a whole milk world, camera crews and show tunes. You hog the bathroom that I might get lost and disappear. Oh, you know the stuff I don't like. Timmy's and the Vatican, crazy shit off the internet. Walk and talk with no fear. The bodies stack up over here, and over there, that's the open sewer. Here the baggage, clogging gutters. Which kitten raper to vote for next? 1346 is the never saw it coming. Our 20-year military presence in Narnia has ended. Skies move. Cops' lives don't matter. Shingling. Edinburgh, Ely, Earlsferry, St. Andrew, hold your fire. Remember when, and her eyes would go all so far away, roll her eyes, bootleg fire, the Dixie fire, there are so many dead people, vaccine lotto, deeply disturbing, high beams, sassy cat, you read Season in Hell, I'll just burn it, comes in clutch, got a solar-powered laser beam iPhone, it just worked out that way. These t-shirts are a different sort of gravy. The real dream. I only have eyes. The morning after she woke, nude in a strange hotel room surrounded by every item on the menu, he seemed to think this was Pretty Woman. I'll tell you, you've never met a guy like him. Funny how much Jim Jones looks like Elvis, like every single day. Why do some cats get a trust fund? He's a Texan, that means rock stupid. Window washer, land shark, pizza delivery. You don't get to go tell God he has a drug problem. See things as they are. From your burning hands, hailstone, AKA, coming in on the ground floor. Let's try to be perfect. I don't even blame you. Rip me open, pull out all my brain. Hey, booze man. In most cases, nothing. Then again, we are made from plastic. He came back from the war with a simple kind of faith in the universe and a drinking problem. So I guess I'll have to rob a bank. How quickly Kiss became the Hello Kitty of rock. Samurai man buns all round. What's wrong with being uptight? When Jeff Bezos travels to the past, it's a blast. I just gotta move on. Everyone was joining a coven or hiding from one in the 80s. Kills two. It's not that I don't believe in you. The field of reeds. The next words you read will try and explain. The words the words they say don't mean anything. Thrash with ghost, and when the mosh pit came and ruined punk, boneheads. Solitude, pretty easy to maintain. Shadows colliding, not my strong suit. We buried our past and dug it up to see if we were still right. Pope Francie, intellectually sexting with married people. The only ones who think teachers do a good job is other teachers. Cannot read for listening. When at work, most people are just thinking about sex. Love them until the day I die. Guardians of the nation's morals. Daphne wasn't quite sure how she managed to be bound and gagged and thrown in the cellar without a smut alert. I hate it when people tell me about their real dream. The roadkill of tomorrow. The extension of my manhood. Dance Tomorrow and Bonnie and Clyde's Death Car. Add the wild turkey, cornfield chase. I love sharks, but Shark Week makes it so dirty. And you'll go home in an Uber in disgrace. It really captured the modernity of the age, and the mayhem is great. Getting help from your family, re-loving yourself, are asking for prayers. Sometimes there's bad press. Marshals behind a full-size table in a book fair somewhere. Please carry turtles in the direction they were headed. I'm reading the Souster Lockheed anthology and your poem pinned against my weight. All he had was a stack of old books and magazines, a glue stick, and a blade. My near-death experience was exactly the same. And I think I finished writing another book of Vispo. Lightning hits heavy Instagram spot, killing 12, most taking a selfie. And, okay, hold on. There was a fully operating civilization here before Sprite came along. This isn't so true of Coca-Cola. We throw wind to the caution right here, right now. We can talk and talk, but that doesn't make it true. I didn't start the poem. It was here when I arrived. This is exactly bad. For reasons unknown to me, 2 places far away. When they laugh at our double denim, they must die. Wear out your last pair of kickers, 1 kick away. When Susan Anton went into the small cigar business, don't you think being vegan is like a new extreme sports of sorts? White Rock, Lake Fire, Sunny Lemon, of a poor man's dream, maddening wizardry, turning the plates, and we were here again, capable of being supernaturally, thousands on either side, whose posthumous awards sure were a lot easier to give. Fake gold ghost machines. A list of 100 greatest Olympians in order. There was no such person as Marilyn Monroe. Self-destruction, dusk, satanic small tables, satanic small potatoes. This is the last one. It's called If only I knew the right place to look for the right words to copy. Acting on impulse. All the top NASA scientists agree, love will steer the stars. You are still here, the Lord of lies. Faith is not a strategy, but failure is success. This may be the most Sabbath I'm striving for. Some things are just the end. Am I supposed to see a God's design in all this? We named everything. A twist in mind with all kinds of wrath for a heart. I have no light left inside of me no more. Back of town. Because I'm not careful. I have to be careful. I've been living a lonely life like everyone else. Big deal. There's no belonging at this age. But to be truthful, there was very little belonging ever. With other ways to find yourself alone, suffering through insipid on repeat, because you can. People are beginning to figure out what you're up to. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Room number 5, the murder room at the Parkside Cabins. Gluten is such a vague term. At some point, he switched and became violent. So my teenage daughter and I have been gaslighting each other. And as you can imagine, things get pretty wacky. Thanks for your patience.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I was profoundly moved, almost to the point of tears, Daniel. Thank you for just being so courageous, you know, in what you've given us. I'm a little bit emotional because it moves me. I'll take a second, verklempt here. I think we should welcome the most creative, innovative, interesting poet, artist, thinker, Louise Bak, who without her, we wouldn't have this. So Louise.
This was given when I was barely 4 years old. that was given. Somewhere towards the first menstruation. I thought I would just start with something that I've done fairly recently. This is something that I did. My mother's birthday comes about in the middle of September. My own comes a few days after. So September is often a period highly weighted in terms of just how these words come about. Most people know that the she in most of this is actually some version of my mom. She found this in a little free library. Guess you could love this Tina Fey book. Way down the hole. Sheet, his happy birthday to Joan Jett, 50-foot Queenie. Second location in South London. One plant, silly made-up flag. He hopes in their profile. He hopes with pedophiles. Imagine buying weed from ex-pig. The joy this video brings me out. Ocean meditation, so pure mutates. Wanna sell that pig, all doll up in Lulu. Queer sign-up story magic. The turning, the magic of queering, navigate change. Queens of the Revolutions by Bruce the Bruce, praise. Chicago Wheeling Fest, burning Heart Street art, matching millennia, dressed to match. Combine wall art. When you wake up to see she made money online, overnight while rested, the beauty automaton, odd friend, as if by digital storefront be open 24 function. Canadians relate to YouTube to create their future, learn skills and inspire some geek little queen goods and sorry girls. She made patties and a little portal. A slumped mob speak to her nicely. 4 p.m. This goes off, not a challenge. That new Heat song you dropped goes off. Gibbs' novel, A Pair of Exes, Tess and Emily, battle over wrangle a pair of embryos, but they did not conceive them on their own. Their tale, that of anonymous donor. As a court judge who falls into a coma state, Clara, a lifelike robot as little girl semblance, bios urn, created by Gerard Motlin of Spain. Morgan Freeman turned his 50-hectare estate into sanctuary of threatened species. Sesame balls stomped on in Crump urban style at College Street's portal post-COVID. Heat slump mob foreplay, her version girls, redo Enter Sandman by Metallica originally. Kinda hard indie, kind of hard mom. I thought I would just share a few things from this because this is a book that recently was produced by Eldon Garnett that involves some of my writing. His head includes job-like crimpling flax, a pregnant bulge and behemoth footwear of fabric-covered form. As club warped look, waffled two-piece tracksuit, mikan color to bands, raw sewages, lesion breath, fucking rot. Mit's kids on Boy George DJing at the Blitz, in abandoned ship apparel. He added would rather have a cup of tea than sex. Seems he doesn't do clothes irons. Entwined 50s Ted's raver girls power. She tailed in attar syrup thick air to veil ever wider, full-bore OCD. Goddess caught sordid sirens subaudible. Edakera fossils seems colored as higashi, a candy avouched to say many Chinese were struck by plague in dirt track. Where was Valium and a disability jockey? To inquests of fentanyl caused fall. 5 minute tied a rag into inky waters just got way harder as Jubal Brown's nightscapes, videos of diversion gunplay, to thorny dailies of news, bombings in Iran, nutty spots, Mirabel's HQ and today, you gonna hurt me, gonna heal tomorrow, videotapes in early 1970s as Paul McCartney applies ketchup as blood to motor oil and vaginal mayonnaise in this action. Is that Goino? It is an 800 square foot yellow ranch style house, jinxedly a role of what Paul combines himself in archetypes of cinemaker to artist, revels with white snow, both Vestal or Harridan, of naive new beaters, Landyboxter Grand Soir as retextured in octane, orange Klompen creature, to his flopscotch, to his all airs wig, as Pasiphae saw a white bull cosplay in furry district, zoophiles pinned to lives and artists and boys virtue fixing, fairies play to do insouciantly sit in front of babies, a bad day in Chanel's with lion charms, her aversion to doors, by esteemed camellia flowers, a ceremony of scouring the horse, told by Francis Wise from villagers, let gravity do impact, too graying on the Uffington horse, distant birdsong of late Bronze Age that can be felt through feet's pictograms, a size of a football field, to gravity's effects, too slow, the doing of time and aging, a quantum gravity related of time's arrow, decoherence, a side process, by Wheeler DeWitt, build it at midwinter's rituals. She practiced of a ribbon shirt for Michi's cat in an oxidized bronze and silver mokuba. Michi refers in a way to my family restaurant. It ran for some 50 years, 49 years, and it was very sadly closed, mostly because of the effects of COVID. This being set in Kingston, Ontario, and in many ways, I mean, this fountain, in a way, with the water effects, my mom very much, I think it identified very closely to water. So, and the Ricci's cat was real, and it very much pounced on very, pesky rodents. For Ricci's cat in an oxidized bronze and silver mokuba, as Cree Nation voluntarily to bead Nunavut, built in 12 hours. Ruth Cutand's beads, viruses, hand in hand, as if brought by Europeans to Canada. As local, the condo at Franklin Children's Garden used to teach kids about solitary bees. As Ruth's work, titled Tracking, renders microscopic looks, typhus, cholera, whooping cough, chicken pox, and bubonic plague. Beekeeper kid puffs smoke into hives to soothe as avoided stums, to beehive dystopias as pathogens cross into invertebrates, to 7.5 tall made of snow that fell for hours, piled banums, to ice goddesses, cosplay in spades by Ice Palace, an argolite box opened as Raven's long-term memory. Its brain accounts for 2% of body mass, a value similar to humans. with its relational valence. As 8 raised ravens, sweet of test, on par with great apes. Michael Obum's one of rare avant-garde film works at visiting hours includes a husband visited by a woman in a prison with footage derived from the Red Cross. A lot of his ensemble works, like Judy, refer to Judy Rebick, an anti-capitalist, forgoes naturalism, preponderant in utopian aims. Informally seen, Michael Snow's King Art Lion along his black Steinway's Grand, stood readied and groggy with computated modular clothes, speculative fictions, and rolled off jazz freeform, with xylophones along Cassini, dived, an innermost ring, whether the icy cross of Enceladus, its wee inner moons as iraniform can appear spider-like, a long downcast period. She tied bread to each goose as if Snow carried on, as the Grinch to who villains as coerced a parentless child, as if left alone in a house, mind follows, Dua, that deep, deep gloom. Couldn't take any more, as Carol Bundy, who brought cut-off head to articles on shelves as horsehair whip, light up your life pendant, life dolls pull it eye chip, seem to glisten and brim to tense later films with imminent disclosures. Thank you.
So, wow.
Thank you so much, Louise. Not only for your poetry, but for your presentation, and for allowing us to see through how you presented yourself, you. So, just wonderful. Thank you again. So, the next person to present is very special to me. The upshot of this introduction is this. Someone that I don't know in Vancouver recommended this talented, beautiful young singer to me as a singing teacher here in Toronto, and she came and it worked for us. And then I had the privilege of being able to apply and then win the Canadian Senior Artist Resource Network Mentor Award, and she became my mentee. But that's not the issue. The issue is because of that, I can introduce to you for the very first time in public at this most important event, the wonderful Sarah Wells.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much. Yes, like I would like to say, my name is Sarah Wells. I brought some poetry pieces I would like to share, and I'm going to sing as well. This performance I would like to dedicate to Kenneth Wells. The deep is far, my shallow beyond. Grasping at stones, my limbs laid down. Blood cold, sink or survive. My shallow beyond, set me free. Rolling in on a wave, swelling power, rising to my tide, cartwheeling like a windmill, slow, steady, feeling my journey as I move towards shore. Through rocks propelling into air, splitting into a mist, pieces, retrieving, dimes of my soul linger behind, diving back into the deep blue, once again, with each wave making my way. Clam shields pearls like tree bark protects trees. Hope to capture the idea through art. Good art retrieves lost things. I don't miss or regret giving up, not even a fossil of a lost thing. Like a stream of molten gold rising into the sky, caressed with the wind, my eye is sparkling, wings are spread, effortlessly gliding into these unexpected valleys of my life, where my dreams may come true. Change, oh, haven't we experienced so much change in the last 2 years, and I don't know if that's going to change my change, separation, bloody truth, moment of change, symptoms, sadness, confusion, irritability, anger, resistance. Let go and let the magic happen. When something new is presented multiple times, take the change you have been pondering. What comes back is yours.
Yeah.
You can never know what it's like. Your ice like cold freeze, just like wine. There's a cold, lonely light that shines for you. If we hide behind the wreck, we use these masks we always wear. Did you think this fool could never win? Well, look at me, I'm a-coming back again. I got a taste for love in a simple way. And if you need to know while I'm still standing, you just fade away.
Yeah.
Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feel like a little kid. You know I'm still standing after all this time. Even with this goddamn pandemic always on my mind, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're still standing. We gotta fight for freedom. We're still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, we're still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Loville.
I feel terribly unprepared. Thank you for those of you who were very prepared. I wanted to dedicate this to Randy Rivera. Not this poem in particular, but my being here. I think Randy was a poet who died too young, and I'm sending her love. I'm freeing myself from fear because it makes me feel like an object. I'm freeing myself from objects because they make me feel heavy. I'm freeing myself from heaviness because it makes me feel immobilized. I'm freeing myself from immobility because it makes me feel like I don't deserve to be alive. I'm freeing myself from existential dread because it makes me feel unlovable. I'm freeing myself from unlovableness because it makes me feel alone. I'm freeing myself from aloneness because it makes me feel broken. I'm freeing myself from brokenness because it makes me feel scrambled. I'm freeing myself from scrambledness because it makes me feel unable to complete things. I'm freeing myself from an inability to complete things because it makes me feel lost. I'm freeing myself from loss because it makes me feel sad. I'm freeing myself from sadness because it makes me feel unable to connect to others. I'm freeing myself from an inability to connect with others because it makes me feel anxiety. I'm freeing myself from anxiety because it makes me feel needy. I'm freeing myself from neediness because it makes me feel like a beggar. I'm freeing myself from begging because it makes me feel ashamed. I'm freeing myself from shame because it makes me feel distraught. I'm freeing myself from distress because it makes me feel out of control. I'm freeing myself from being out of control because it makes me feel free. And I'm freeing myself from freedom because it makes me feel like there's a need when there really isn't one. I'm freeing myself because it makes me feel. And I would burn this, but I worry about sprinklers, so I won't burn it. And I thought maybe I could eat it, but I don't want to eat it. I'll just put it in the water. Yeah, so I don't want it to just be a rock for you all. Just to be in the rock. I am a man with my feet in the water. I am a man with my son on my back. I am a man on a horse. I am a man with a whip. I am a man in an office. I am a man. I am a man who has some power to do something. I am a man who's crossing a border. I am the grass. I am the grass. I am the whip. I am the dirt. I am the man in the water. I am the man whose feet are in the mud. I am the man with the sun on his shoulders. I am the soccer ball. I am the grass. I am the weed. I am a border. I am understanding that it doesn't need to be this way. I am in understanding that we are all in this together. This was, I think I'm just going to read it from here, but it was basically written by flipping through my notebook. It's an untitled note. Identify the gap, raw data sets, body as archive, things resonate, beads, not even the interface, common language for the map, footpath. Knowledge isn't digitized, hidden history, simpler, constellations, movement that's not perceivable, not able to see how someone else is using it, whales, playing 10 associative, something to your left, recoding primary data, interpretive method, generous, listening, participating, disentangling from digital tools, griots, archive, global south knowledge, effect. metadata at the call, transference, de-accession layers, accuracy, measurement, refugees who come without stuff, building, copyright, service serves 100% accessible, preserve future ethics, future process, lesser, snowmobile signatures, itinerants, factual foreigners, materials, tangible memories, belonging, challenging, policy capture, content capture, accurate layers, capture, facilitation, arrows, useful records, impression under user-given book, user-driven book, particular condition, environment, documentation project, separate reception, open text models, get, GeoCities, data, afterlives, vulnerable observer design, discovering deliberate, serving public, what happens to materials once they are archived, prominent, if you want to get there, if you want to get away, agency, if you remove sense, you lend it to the show, if you don't, what you get, if not metadata, what the world needs is not another book, improvised, collective, soul, spirit. I'm branching from the text because I don't like it there. It was a mistake. Otter. What I need to do, what I need to improvise with. This is not a focus group. Schools of thought, standard schools, fish, lossy, legible, placing limits, going algorithm, going, expanding, lively, data accessible, not aggregate, not afterlife, not civil, not information, not fundable, not a findable. It's happening, random. You wrote back your gentle request. Why is there an election in solidarity with people at the borders? No reply. Coffee. Leaving, weaning, gestures, dealing, doing, reminding, reminiscent, letting go, writing, urgency, feeling shut, definitely, delete, archive, I, myself, Leonard Cohen sitting at his desk. I'm in love with today's date. You are in your body state, this possible change, his family grief, and on the phone and work, a world with her cancer. And the food for this body, archive, precision, wine, reading, moving, minor gesture is what, notice, what is in the metadata archive, writing, cliche, dance, straw, love you, I love you, your desire, archive, coffee, surge, for you, this for you, closure, nomination, gamify my life, no thanks, codependent, track everything by hand, leaving half a meal in my mesh bag, pour right, 2, 3 companies, stop single-use plastics, please, how to reinvent my mother's surgery, it's starting now. The vodka finish, work, archive, metadata, brain through actions, what beads, engage, people resonate, there are blank lines on the spreadsheet, global self-knowledge in order to enter. You need a key, time, key, music, I wish, I honor, I respect, collect thoughts, thesis, archive, clearing, taking to the value village, this level of anxiety, ADHD, boring, problem stimulating, important, make myself pay after negative, voluntary power, not wired convictions, sitting, setting, boundaries, task, reason, shower, food. Okay, have more. It was on Friday. A mess of notes, it's okay. I didn't die, I love her. Encourage, I, in an hour of document, already diverted text, but they don't have to come over, Come over here, I turn on the fan, I wrote to her reflections, her video, her body-based action, why repeat the comedy, falling apart lecture, new quizmatic, add metadata to widen in reference to context, flying lemon textures, not seeing through them clearly, circular, bring back the question of sexuality, cloud moving with thought, spirituality, smoke, hurting, hard, faster, performance, philosophy, mix up. What do you call that nervous paper women work on Kingston? So nervous I couldn't, but now I'm in a video documented in an archive, not knowing that spatial arrangement of time, falling apart, saying hello, saying last things, and to not be able to deliver what I said I would in the hot topics category. From the presentation and the technologies of metadata, categories non-entangling, performing cat sitting rants. Performing in the context of the archive, allow gesture, material, territoriality. Whose is this belongs to a no one, a flow with just see her costumes, to see her breath, to care and falling apart. Group prompts, the floor moves over the week. We're voicing a gesture, we're moving until something drops, stay with one last beautiful thing. Principles is an organizing frame for people coming together. Ginger, lemon, maple syrup, peppermint, and cayenne. I feel the biological symptoms are dynamic growth, aggregation, energy, material exchange, spreadsheet mapping, geological, microbial, responsive gesture, accumulation, the absence of bodies. I'll just finish. The absence of bodies, stiff leaning forward, puffing chest flight, part heat to name our anger, looks, feels, sounds like desires, fear, inner critic, with all due respect, quitting, allowing an invasion. Athletes rest a lot, movement makes routine, helped but not resolved, listening to body, this is the evening. The expansive exercise alignments, you organize my parts, you small meetings, sensitive afterlife, otter, 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 Dropbox, integrity, I complete, I am, I feel into your body, slow process down. Ask the clown gods, clown compass, please listen, follow, and we can follow our assemblages, I know, because not that, the event network of relationality. Navigational tools, gamify messy thinking, your random, all generation. I feel sick. Is it a lack of day or one facilitator classes or have any AP materials at hand, paint markers? I don't like my cellulite. I can't believe how much I in the text is that she visits me. I was told I was never needed to see again. I will write about all sorts of creative ideas, simple gestures more powerful to dismember or punch out a living. Does it live? Does it approach? What the danger of the bladder anxiety that the situation brings shifted into their world becomes a ritual transition of flight, felt rights, silver coins are in and out of spaces watching the shaking. Change to ugliness, working. Performance in our current mystic glossy magazine, destruction, digital, analog, discrepancy between human body, causal code, precise machines. So big it's insane, so the color scale, excessive canvas, squares, gaps, Pierre Mondrian, 6 or 7 people simultaneously at my window. They're here to see you. Possible, transference, system, created, nominalized, what is the dance? I'm doing it already. Or alchemize that grief, deaccessioning, archive, dense intimacy lost with methods. Do we categories are imperfect, but bring ourselves to our work to make sense of future time and interpretation with love, wanting to live, and yet extend beyond the archive, repeating self-body as record embodied, spiritual sluggishness, people who redirect me. Yo, I have not enough trustworthy, aligned, safe self. Where's my magnetic parent in the shadow to integrate, recognize? Let's be friends. I think that was actually inspiring.
I guess last but not least, at least from my standpoint, is Admiral Crumple.
All right, so, one second here. So, I go by the name Admiral Crumple. I'm a Toronto hip-hop artist. Yeah, I've been doing it since 2002, and I just look up to the greats like KRS-One, Nas, Cool G Rap, artists like that. People who've lasted really long in hip-hop culture. I just released a new album called Sketch City, and I just released it like last month. And basically the premise of Sketch City, it's on Spotify and all that stuff. But the whole thing is, it's a new hardcore hip-hop album, hardcore Toronto hip-hop album, brand new, 11 songs. It's 90% truth. There's so many lies in hip-hop, and just embellishment, and so many lies in Instagram. There's a lot of there's not much facts, and people buy followers or views, and it's scary because there's like a lot of low quality information out there. So 90% of the writing on this album was all the truth, like facts, factual, as truthful as truth can get. And again, 10% was for imaginative effect. So that's that. I've been sober for 6 years and like 7 months off alcohol. So So, thank you. I really appreciate it. And that's kind of like, that had me, like, I guess it's more intense because whatever I feel is more intense. So whether it's like the hurt or like the love, it's just more intense. So lastly, another thing that this album's about is kind of like, because I went back and I got my college diploma in law clerk, but even going back as a mature student, you have all these people in Toronto or worldwide, they're like, let's go to college and spend $30,000 or whatever, thinking that college is the solution or university is the solution, and then people are going to get out and have great careers or whatever. But again, it's my fault because I guess I'm not looking, but I've always worked from McDonald's to customer service and now like security work. But the whole thing is like, you know, trying to get educated, get college educated, but the job market, you're looking and it's like this whole thing of applying and writing. We're all writers here, and it's like you tailor a whole resume and you can't, it's frustrating, you don't find the job, right? So the whole thing about that is like, why are we going to like work, get educated, but then not use our voice? So my whole thing is, I do hip hop because that's my voice, and I'm not trying to die tomorrow and not have an album out, you know? So that's why I encourage everyone has a voice, and I think that everyone should go for theirs. So that's that. Lastly, the second song I'm gonna do, it's called Legacies, and the whole song is all truth. It's all real life legacies. Some good, some bad. Some overdoses, some billionaires, like the person who created eBay. And then lastly, one of the verses on the last track is a real life thing I had in my security work where we dealt with an overdose. An overdose, and we had to call for help because this guy was overdosing off of opiates or fentanyl or whatever. Anyways, here I'm gonna go. So check this out. Okay. And these are all brand new. These are all brand new songs. This song is called Mischief. One, two. It's Admiral Crumple, Cataphonic Productions, yeah, TGK, yeah. Push the clip in my carbine as charcoal, run up on all rappers with an automatic rifle, shoot you in a dark alley, they won't even have the heart to kill you off, leave you suffering. Your daughter's not missing, let me provide a solution. She's out living in the streets, deep into prostitution. Bitch, you can't eat God and see acid. That's like swallowing water and drowning in fake acid. Intimate relationships bother me because my wonderful imaginings don't match my reality. My problems may seem overwhelming, like thousands of flickering pixels on a screen, blue and green. Money couldn't fix my cat. Money won't keep your fast stomach flat. So head first from trucks into barricades. The EKG reading knows I've been raised. Life can be horrific, but still I'm getting lifted. Down to shoot and twist it, to rest, skip or fix it. Transients transisted. Misfits will cause mischief. I feel turbocharged cause it's humidity attack with this demon's foot standing on top of my neck. Turn the corner into the back lady holding the just scored her fence and I'll fix off of the door. And scared to leave my company cause my benefits are good. Fighting my dope rappers who got shot in nice neighborhoods. Sometimes she needed something attention. She got nothing on his cell phone pressing buttons. That's when she decided to dump him. Risky like fights on subway platforms. Whack like bad porn. Still daps the bad swarm. Car body, cyanide, cocaine, damn. I'm the same age as Tony Todd and Candyman. What you see won't be televised. Moving the industry says 6 a.m. like a jogger's high. Empty myself in a creative space until it's full. Keep it moving like riding the wool professionals. On the internet there's a bunch of characters that's twisted. Unrealistic that think it's different, but I'll listen. Won't diss them, but if I get a sense something's missing, I'm dipping. And get back to building, then winning.
Life can be horrific, but still I'm getting lifted. Dare to shoot it, twist it, to risk it, but fix it. Transients transisted. Misfits will cause mischief. Life loops around the balance, so it's equal. You got outed while I earn more cash with better people. Underground rappers in the late 90s of holes down. It's not the work of saint, but the cigarette hanging out their mouth. Walking in your presence, as far as it seems me. Please next to you, two cats in love with turtle seed. Mango and vanilla, Greek yogurt in the blender. Energetic personal porn gets surrendered. I thought it couldn't happen, but I made it happen. See, when I see my chains, it means I'll gladly grab them. We all know what the perfect format for rap is. Boom bap is, see experimental things for the kids. Sunlit on these summertime streets, feeling so good with the rubber and the roadies. Showing acid to free with me, white sheets, so pretty. This is heaven with a slight breeze. Life can be horrific, but still I'm getting lifted. Dare to shoot, to twist it, to risk it, but fix it. Transients transisted. Misfits will cause mischief. Skills, relaxing and appreciating wow. A lot of Charles Manson
Is Charlie Manson crazy?
Well, whatever that means, sure, as crazy as a man as a hat. What difference does it make? You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy. So, I mean, it's synonymous. I haven't invented a pair of ducks. I mean, are you crazy? Dressed in black? You think I don't know anything that goes with that black you're dressed in? Yeah, with your black belts. Got your rings. You think I don't understand your blue rings and your yellow best camera? You think you're anything wrong? Yeah, you're behind that and listen.
What's the lesson you learned from all this?
I don't insist in your word. I'm only what is. What it is. It is what it is. Hit time. So what did they do? They did whatever they did. That's a dispensation of the Pope. It's the same thing he does with the Cardinals, man. It's the same thing he do with the committee.
Did you tell those birds to kill somebody?
No.
Church girl, raised in a church world city with guitars, struck deals, became a star. Sold millions of tracks, couldn't be mad. We censored her songs, girls were supposed to be sad. Most of the money she earned went to the church, but when she had problems, no one gave her a second look. Now picture this all. She ended up killing herself with barbiturates and alcohol. What a doll, like Lauren Bacall. In the Bronx, still to 89, went to a mall. Dated several prominent actors, read scripts on chapters. Cruise through like cat trucks, spots up like Gloucester. Worked hard, great fate. Left $26 million in her estate. Great, don't compare my legacy. I'm just stating facts like when hip-hop embraced breaking. What's up with these legacies? What do these people mean to me? What's up with these legacies? And what are we going to leave? What's up with these legacies? What do these people mean to me? What's up with these legacies? And what are we going to leave? He was a bright kid, selling school is what he did. His dad never divorced his first wife, double life. He graduated college, was a hype man, only seemed to treat running as if it's against the force of darkness. Donated 24 G's of his savings. In 1990, to combat global poverty. Hiking was his wish, so it's what he did. Did it at 24, trivialized risks. Took out a $20,000 loan, borrowed $5,000 more, and opened up his first store. He didn't look for pristine college lookers to get down right now. Hustlers and workers. Married for 49 years to his wife that he adored. She made him go farther. His first business partner built the largest corporation in the world by revenue. Paid the most jobs and really led by principle. What's up with these legacies? What do these people mean to me? What's up with these legacies? And what are we going to leave? What's up with these legacies? What do these people mean to me? What's up with these legacies? Hey, what are we going to be? She fell off a luxury hotel lobby in big breasts. Who tried to catch her but crashed 2 blocks and bled to death. And often who advocated for self-control. By the 95 of his wife and influenced the world as a whole. Young dance queen hung with cigarette breath. Her friend jumped on the back of her head and cracked her neck to death. The rock star, lots of sex and lots of drugs. Sitting he keeps going a millionaire, well loved. Can't see the same for his acts running on social media, but was really in debt of hurting the truth. She killed herself while Dan copped hundreds of escorts with his wealth. She was so pretty, Playboy magazine queen. Years later, she left off the balcony with a kid in New York City. This is fun, doing that for his hun, and became a billionaire by the age of 31. Spiritual teacher, lifelong preacher, respected without empowerment because he neglected money. An engineer and author who inspired the world heavily. Married for 82 years, died at 103. What's up with these legacies? What do these people mean to me? What's up with these legacies? And what are we going to be? Yeah. 1, 2. We all gotta love. We all gotta love. We all just gotta live our lives. We're all gonna leave behind something. We're all gonna leave behind something. We're gonna be like, what's inside? Or not. I hope everyone just like follows their heart. That's creative. As much as possible. So this is my last song, the one after this. I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas for my last album, Shadows here. So this song, Catapult, it starts off my new album, Sketch City, and it starts off with a lot of casino sounds because it trails off from the Las Vegas. 1, 2, 1, 2, shit, yeah. Exactly, we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Blend a nice drink, chocolate coated vanilla. My vision is clear, like Aquila or Aquila. Sure he didn't make staff, cause he never had cash for dinner. Chaz was good in school, not a flunky. He couldn't find work after, so became a junkie. Buy books with laptops, cracked a decent line. And they plan to look for work, we really wasted time. I need a free income stream for life, and a big booty chick as my wife. I saw them alive, screaming in museums. Now they're all dead, posted up in museums. And I'm just lifting all these weights, reading by these great hydroponics. While drowning in the lake, I dealt with the horrors with my 40s. I'm just looking for the door out of this maze. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. You talk shit advantage, I'll break your jaw and curse you in Spanish. Plus I got that drip, listen to top 10 hits, sipping coffee, get my skits. Beefing with this chicken, going and chugging for weeks. I'm cutting them off to succeed, cause revenge is sweet. But I don't really want it, I love her structure and how she finds it. Tell me you're gonna die for your sincere. When I'm naked with her, everything just melts away. Trying to tell me I'll live my life and make it better, but nothing's more spiritual on earth than two lovers coming together. See when we hope while you're feeling the pain, that's how you really know that you're winning the game. Right combination, got my result. When I'm with you, it's like we're tucked away in a vault. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, make new moves for better results. I'm grateful, but are special, plus I got lasted. bingo. Dude on the floor, freestyling in his walking, y'all. Looks like he's been smoking opiates in the bathroom stall. Calling my mom, my homie pulled the door down, lifted him up, sat him up, tried to revive him. Now that's what's up. Sounded like he was snoring, firing, and trying to drive while cute crackheads are whoring. Dispatch told us to lie on his back. He's got to watch his chest rise, and that's for that. Anyways, never gave him Narcan. They put that mask over his face, distributing oxygen. And he never came to. At the hospital, I hope he pulls through. It could have been Chaz, it could have been your dad. It could have been anyone screaming inside mad. I wait till we did this swirl. And the blood shit, the leaders are Hitler. Stand next to you to us, oh god man. I'm just trying to step away from all these zombie hands. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, making you moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, making you moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, making you moves for better results. Damn, I'm just trying to catapult, making you moves for better results. It's California Productions, yeah. Admiral Crumple, 1, 2.
That was my set. Appreciate it. And that's it. Thank you to Louise, and thank you to Martin, and thank everyone, all of you. And I hope all of you like excel in all your writing and all that stuff. And one good thing, I feel the whole thing about like writing and like music, I like it when people write and manufacture things. Like Louise has a book. I bought her book. You know, I see people reading from their own books. I manufacture CDs, and there's something to be said about creating something and then having like a physical format. Because then it's like we really manifested something, like, and we're holding it. So I just hope that, I mean, people can do whatever they want, but in this digital space, I still believe in like creating something tangible. So I wish the best for everyone. Wish everyone has a productive and fun week. And thank you again. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Like Looney Tunes, that's all, folks. Anyway, thank you all for being here and for participating in whatever way you were able. And please know this is an international event, and everybody here is part of 100,000 Poets for Change, however you view change. So thank you for being here, and I hope our paths cross again and again and again. Be safe and be fulfilled. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Martin.
Thanks, Marty.